For Canadian Ben Spooner, the last 4 days have been a whirlwind of rescues and emergency calls, with little rest in between.
But here on the east, it's probably the worst flooded of anywhere. And this is the area where we spend most of our time doing the mass evacuation.
Spooner moved here from Calgary 6 years ago. An engineer in oil and gas, he became a volunteer firefighter in League City, southeast of Houston. He estimates they've helped more than 2,000 people in the last few days. As a local resident himself, he says he can't let the emotion of seeing friends and neighbors suffer get in the way of his job.
It's eye-opening. It's powerful, but these people have lost everything and they're desperate. And they're looking to their firefighters not only to save them, but also as a bit of a pillar of strength. Each of us kind of have our own style.
As a Canadian, he says the reaction amongst Texans to severe adversity has a familiar feel.
And the reaction that I found from this community is not a lot different than the same reaction I had in Calgary and Edmonton and Saskatchewan and all the places I lived in Canada after big blizzards, when we wake up to huge snowbanks and people would go help each other, shovel their cars out, push cars out of ditches.
Those rescued by people like Spooner are streaming into shelters. More than 17,000 across the region, 10,000 at the city's main convention center alone, with the mayor promising to open more mega shelters.
Folks are bringing in clothes.
Each person here has their own story of loss. And Albert, you are homeless. Albert Griffin is homeless. He was trying to start a landscaping business and lost all his equipment.
He had to do yards and stuff to service people to try to come up so I can get my life right. And then this hurricane hit and took everything I had away. And I spent everything I had. And I lost everything trying to come up. I'm sorry, y'all. And I was trying hard to come up. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that lost a lot more than I have, but it hurts when you're trying to come up.
Back in League City, the rescue work is nearly done. Next, something perhaps even more difficult. So the next step now, urban search and rescue?
Urban search and rescue, yep.
Tomorrow, Spooner and his team will go door to door, searching homes for holdouts, survivors, or worse.
We are prepared to find homes that have corpses in them. We obviously hope we do not find that, but it is a possibility.
He says they've mentally prepared for what's ahead. But with Harvey, if the last 4 days can offer any lesson, it's that the worst may be yet to come. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, League City, Texas.